Hi everybody, today we're making our chicken Caesar wrap. It's one of our new wraps that we're launching in August. So the first thing we're going to do, because this one's a little bit different than a traditional wrap, is we're going to mix all of the chicken Caesar ingredients together before we assemble the wrap. So we've got some romaine that we're going to measure out at 3 ounces. And you want to make sure that it's not too big of chunks. This wrap is a little bit different because it uses our rotisserie chicken and it takes 4 ounces. So we're going to mix that in there together with that. We're also going to mix in our new Royal Creamy Caesar dressing that we're using now in our grab-and-go salads. And this is really a delicious dressing. It's got a lot more garlic. It's a lot thicker than our other dressing from Hellmann's, and it's got some great flavor. We've got our shaved Asiago that we're going to measure 2 ounces in there. We're going to add a unique ingredient, which is capers. You want to make sure that your capers are fully drained, and you add a 1/2 ounce of capers to the bowl. And of course, a pinch of black pepper just to get a little bit of seasoning. So you're going to take this and you're going to mix it together very well so that all the ingredients are nicely coated with the dressing. It's not going to be too soggy because the dressing is, there's not a ton of dressing and there's lots of ingredients, so that way the wrap will have tons of flavor all the way through. We're going to take our honey wheat tortilla, and you want to make sure that you always have the rough side down. So there's the nice side that shows all of the bubbles of the cooking of the tortilla, and then the raw side. And you're going to put this right in the middle of the tortilla, just like you do the rest of the wraps. You can see how much filling there is in this. It's just a really abundant wrap with lots of good stuff. And then, just like the other wraps, you want to kind of arrange it so that it's into the center so that it's easy to roll. You want to tuck in your sides, and then you're going to pull it back. And you want to keep folding those in and roll it tight. This one's going to be a little bit fatter than the other wraps that you're used to making. Stop. So once it's rolled into its burrito shape, then you're going to take a knife and you're going to cut it directly in half, square, so that it will fit in the container. I always kind of use the container to measure it. You flip it together. So as you put it in the container, you want to make sure that it's always at the clear face of the container. And you're going to tuck in the ingredients. And there you have it, our chicken Caesar wrap. Remember when you're labeling the wrap that you always want to have the ingredient label as low as you can on the container, so all that the guest sees is the name of the wrap wrapped around like that, because you want to see as much of the face of the sandwich as you can. Hi there, now we're going to try our Thai vegetable wrap. This is another new wrap that we're launching this season. And the first thing you do is measure out 2 ounces of our Hagen garlic hummus onto the tortilla. You can see it's quite a bit of hummus, but you want to spread it because this will be the glue that will help keep your wrap together. So you want to spread it evenly over the wrap with your spreader and make sure that there's no big clumps or areas that's got too much hummus that will squeeze out when you bite into it. 1 container of hummus is 12 ounces, so you know that 1 container, when you open it, will make 6 wraps, roughly. We're going to mix these ingredients together again. So I've measured out 2 ounces of our baby kale, 4 ounces of our rainbow organic carrot slaw, and we're going to put that together there. This takes 2 ounces of the Thai peanut dressing, which is going to give it its really good flavor. I'm going to turn this so it's easier to measure 2 ounces. Tear it for the bowl. You can imagine that the Thai peanut dressing and the hummus together just make a really good flavor. It's got some crumbled feta in it, just 1 ounce. So we're going to make sure that we crumble it as we put it together in the bowl. So make sure there's no big chunks. And then a little bit of salt and pepper just to sprinkle of each to give that carrot slaw and the spinach its flavor. So now you're going to mix this together well, tossing it so that it's really incorporated nicely. So again, that you get flavor on every bite. And then just like the other wraps, you're going to make sure that you put all of your filling. And these wraps have a lot more filling because the kale and the chicken Caesar, the romaine, will really shrink down as it sits. So it's going to look like it's way too much filling for the wrap. You want to make sure that you get it in the center and that it's well mounded up. And then as you fold, you're going to tuck in your sides. You're going to really squish the top with your hands and really pull that back so that you get a nice close, and you kind of crimp it together and roll it up. Tuck in your corners. Then you're going to cut it in half equally again, straight down, so that it will fit nicely in the container. Cut it in half. Make sure that when you're putting it in the container, your face is on the clear side. You're going to flip it around and you're going to squeeze it into the container. And there is your Thai vegetable wrap. Okay, when you're labeling this, again, remember that you want to have your label as far down on the face of the container as it can get so that all the guest sees is the name of the wrap. So you can have as much face showing to the guest, and go ahead and put it on there just like that. Hi there, we're going to make our Italian tuna wrap, another new wrap that we're adding this season. And the unique thing about the Italian tuna wrap is that we use albacore tuna. Again, like the other two that we're introducing, we're going to mix all the ingredients together in a bowl first. So we've got our mixed greens, that's 2 ounces. And then we're going to do 6 ounces of tuna drained. And you can see that I've chunked it up nicely. There's no dressing on this tuna. And like I said, we're using wild albacore tuna. So you're going to pour that in there. Then you need 1 ounce of crumbled feta. You want to make sure that you crumble up the chunks so there's not big chunks in the tuna or in the sandwich for someone to bite. It's got Kalamata olives that are sliced, and that takes 1 ounce. This one has capers as well, and the capers you want to make sure are nice and drained, and that's a 1/2 ounce of capers. Capers will give it a nice twang. You've got some sliced red onions. It's the same slice that we use in sandwiches, nice and thin, and you want to sprinkle those in there. And then last, you're going to take your 3 seasonings, your Italian seasoning, which is just a pinch of Italian seasoning. You want to make sure you grind that up in your hand, as well as your salt and your pepper, just to give it some flavor. And you're going to take your Caesar vinaigrette, which is the same dressing that we use in a number of our salads, and that takes 2 ounces. And you're going to mix it all together. And you want to make sure that you're mixing it so that, you know, the spring mix is a little bit harder to mix. It's kind of crunchy. You want to make sure you get everything really incorporated well. On this wrap, there really is no glue that's going to hold it together. So you need to make sure that you have it so that the fillings are nice and moist, because that will help it all stick together. On your tortilla, you're going to make sure you put it right in the center. And again, these wraps have a lot more filling in it because they'll shrink down with the lettuce in it. As you do it, you're going to want to mound up your ingredients right into the center of the tortilla, as mounded as you can get it. So they're nice and it's easier to fold. You're going to flip in the sides, making sure you tuck everything together and squeezing it back as you go. Trying to get all your corners in and as you roll it so that nothing sticks out. After you roll it nice and tight, you want to make sure that you cut it evenly straight down so it's going to fit in the container. Then you're going to flip it over You're going to flip it over so that the face of it is in the clear side of the container. And in this case, you might have to just shove it in the container a little bit because there's so much filling. And when you label it, you want to make sure, like with all the other wraps, that you put the label as close as you can to the bottom of the wrap so that you only see the name, and you wrap it around. So you can see the face of the sandwich really clear.